Hello there, Crafty doer. Jessica Michaels here for the Crafty Maven Getaway, coming at you with a multi-photo layout using the March 2026 Mixed Media Kit Garden Party. Welcome to my channel, The Crafty Doings Mixed Media Paper Crafts. Grab a comfy chair, grab all your crafty things, and let's get into the crafty doings. I am also taking on this month's challenge, which is Get Inky. And to begin, I have printed out this multi-photo collage, and I actually debated between adhering it as is or cutting it apart and then adhering it in the same positions that you see it now. I went ahead and just kept it this way. I'm marking the corners of the photo so that I know where to focus my mixed media. I'm going to use both the spray stain and the ink pad that comes in this kit. To help the spray stain move around the page, I'm going to spritz it first with water and then spritz the spray stain. Once I do that, then I add some more water with my sprayer, and that helps that gives me more control of the ink versus just diving right in and spraying. I have control issues, so this actually helps a little. What also helps is having a paper towel or cloth nearby so that I can pick up any unwanted ink. For splattering, I love to spritz some spray stain on my glassworking surface and dilute it a bit with water. Pick it up with a paintbrush and splatter away. Once you get comfortable with working with this technique, you can also multitask like I'm doing. I am drying the last layer and splattering at the same time. After that layer is dried, I am going to spritz some droplets of water to create that wicking we love to see on mixed media backgrounds and continue to repeat the process. To add the daffodil onto my page, I'm going to do a little ink smooshing, and all you need to do is grab a piece of plastic paper like this random tiny Ziploc, smoosh it into the ink pad and lightly spritz it with water, and then begin to smoosh it down on your paper. I also like to drag the paper around and then dry in between layers, and continue this process as many times as I need, and that means until I'm happy with what I see. I do a similar thing for my splattering of this color. I press down my ink pad onto my glassworking surface and dilute it, pick it up with a paintbrush and splatter away. I try to focus on splattering on top of its respected color, so the green on the green and yellow on yellow. This helps build layers, which is exactly what we want in a mixed media background. Now that I have my inky background and completed the challenge, I want to check out this Nuvo expanding mousse. So I scraped it onto my paper and then heat set it as directed, and it's very textured and exactly what it's titled, foamy. I don't know if I want to go in with that or if I want to go in with this Dina Wakley acrylic paint. So I'm going to test it here on my scrap piece of paper to see what color palette tickles my fancy. And honestly, I like both and I could flow with both. But I'm thinking because of the pictures that I'm scrapping, I'm gonna go with the Nuvo expanding mousse. Sometimes paper warps when I create with mixed media because all of the liquid, it's just paper. So just fold it over, roll it over. Sometimes you can run it through a laminate machine or even use like a heat press or an iron if you don't have that, and it works like a charm. I would suggest though to like sandwich it in between parchment paper. Okay, so I did pull out these Dina Wakley transparencies I was hoping to use, but I am going to go a different route with this scrapbook now that I kind of see my color palette coming together. And I want to go for like a junk journaling vibe. Junk journals, I don't know if they were ever out, but I feel like they're totally in right now. And so I have this just urge to junk a journal, and this is exactly what vibe I'm going to shoot for here. So I'm going to stencil some of this mousse and I'm going to try to layer it on as thick as possible. This is the first time I am using this medium, and so I think I'm using it more like stencil butter than the mousse itself. And so maybe for next project, I'm going to find or think of something to really highlight its effect. This stencil, by the way, also comes in this kit. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set this. I wasn't really sure how long to heat set it, so I kind of overdid it without bubbling it, but see how there is a dimension there. I think if I would have maybe stenciled it a little bit heavier, the foam would have risen a little bit more. We'll see. I'll definitely have to play with this medium a little bit more. So here's my photo. This is how it's going to look. I am going to test drive the orientation of this layout and then move forward to these stinking adorable homemade crochet flowers that I so desperately wanted to add to my layout because my shorts in this picture have like, it's not crochet, but it's like the stitching, the thread stitching, a whole bunch of flowers. And I really wanted to make it work. And that's why I was trying to make it work down here where that photo is. But no, I'm thinking junk journal and I just couldn't visualize those beautiful crochet flowers in this. So here is a die cut that also comes in the kit, and I'm going to use that for embellishing if I ever decide what orientation I want my layout to go. I'm going to start going through these gorgeous pieces of paper again that come in the kit, and I'm really going for texture. This math sheet that comes in the kit is perfect for my layout because I am scrapping my birthday last year, And so I thought it'd be fun to have this piece kind of popping out through the side because of all of the numbers. And so this was just kind of the base to the rest of the pieces of paper I'm going to layer behind the photo off to the side. The kit also includes the new 49 and Market Artful Moments by Vicky Boutin laser cut elements. That is where I got my title. And I needed to add a little more pink rose. So I actually dove back into the October kit of 2025 and pulled out this lace. That would be Autumn Apothecary. For added dimension and texture, I went ahead and stapled the torn pieces of papers layered behind my photo. I fell in love with this piece of lace in the Autumn Apothecary mixed media kit, and I've been dying to use it, so I'm really excited about this, especially because, again, the vibe I'm going for is junk journal, and I think it just adds another element of texture, and I'm super happy about this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out a little like loop of it and see where it best fits. It ends up right here in this corner, and then I end up cutting a tiny little piece of it, of the design, and then adding it to the top for balance. I'm trying to find ways to add this blush across my page, and I decided I wanted to tear a little bit of the base up here, and I'm going to glue some of this rice paper behind it. Again, to keep with the fluidity of balance across the page, I'm going to use some staples up here since I used it down there with my title. And next I want to start really embellishing like the tiny little details. So I'm going to reach for the Deco Art acrylic writer that comes in the kit to see if maybe I want to do some scribbling or maybe some dots. I want to check out the shade of a color, so I'm going to reach for my handy dandy scrap piece of paper where I kind of test these new mediums out, and it is bright. It is like a neon pink, which I dig. However, it is not for this layout, and I won't be able to use it just yet. Next, I'm going to dive in to the Artful Moments laser cut elements, and I really like this black little like tassel banner. A banner always just kind of gives birthday vibes to me, or celebration vibes. So I'm gonna dig into the elements and start embellishing. When selecting the laser elements, I made sure to add the yellow button because I put that yellow clip up there. And then if you look towards the bottom left, there is a peekaboo of the yellow 49 in Market dye ink behind the photo. And so that's why my eye just wanted it to bring those three elements of yellow together. So now diving into the sequin for this kit, which is insane, by the way. Again, it is jam-packed and also with a whole bunch of different sizes and textures. And it has these tiny itty bitty little flowers that are adorable. So I'm just going to start to cluster and try to adhere these sequin or as organically as I can. Adding sequin is always so much fun for me. I know it can be a little tedious, but it's so worth it. Are you a fan of sequin? How do you use your sequin on your layouts, by the way? Let me know in the comment section below. So I want to add a little bit more black accents throughout my layout because of that black tassel banner that I so desperately wanted to add just because of the celebration vibe that it gives. And I am scrapbooking my birthday last year, so I found these tiny adorable little like black leaf branches, and I'm going to add that up to the top and then on the bottom again to make sure the black is balanced throughout. Oh my goodness. So here I thought I was done, and one of the aqua teal sequin fell on my layout, and I love the way they looked. So now I'm going to go back and add some of those colored sequin into my clusters. And the last thing I'm going to do is timestamp this thing. I was so happy to scrapbook these photos from my birthday last year, where I went around and got a lot of my birthday freebies. I truly do hope that you were inspired today and encouraged to dive into your mixed media. If you liked what you see, if you learned anything or would like to see more, please follow me on the Crafty Doings Mixed Media Paper Crafts. Also, don't forget to use code Jessica10 for your discount on your purchase. Until the next Crafty Doings.